Hi everyone, this is Pamela from Firecracker Designs by Pamela. Today we're going to do some product testing. I picked up at Hobby Lobby the Multipunch from the Paper Studio, which I think is the Hobby Lobby's own brand of punch. This punch allows you to do borders and circles and corners and ovals, and I thought this was kind of a cool thing. And since they were half off, I went ahead and bought one. So I have taken it out of its box. So the first thing I see is that this comes apart, and you can see the blade, and you can see all your guidelines for the different borders that you can cut. Now what's really cool about this is that this top piece is magnetic. So when you get it close to where it needs to go to line up, it just kind of grabs its feet in place. It just kind of sucks onto it like, you know, the magnets grabbing a hold of each other. So I'm going to show you how to use this punch to cut first a basic border. I'm going to take my 12 by 12 paper, and at the very back of the board there is this black sort of raised line right here and right here. And I'm just going to line my paper up with that edge. And you want to make sure it's straight or your border's not going to be straight. So once I've got it in place, I'm just going to hold it over here with my left hand. I'm going to take the top part and I'm going to just kind of hover this over until the magnet grabs. See how I did that? I'm going to hover it over and the magnet grabs it and it's locked in place. I'm going to put my fingers back here on the back to hold it in place when I punch. And then I'm going to punch it once, twice, and I could hear it go all the way through. Lift it up, and that's the first part of my row. Now to continue working on my border, I'm going to slide this straight down, and I'm going to line up this white mark and this pink little top of the border. I'm going to line that up with what I cut out right here. And you'll see very easily that there's only one way to line this up. If I try to line it up like this, the white doesn't line up. If I try to line it up with the first mark, the white still doesn't line up no matter what I do. So the only one that's going to line up is the one in the center, and then I'm going to line up all the white marks underneath and make sure that they're exactly lined up. And once I've got them in place, I'm going to hold it with my right hand, take the top, hover the magnet, let it click in place, and I'm ready to punch. 1, 2. And you can see I've already got my border going. So now I'm going to line it up again. And this time I'm going to work my way down. Line up the white, line up the pink part, hold it in place with my right hand, let the magnet grab, and punch. 1, 2. Now I'm using a pretty thin scrapbook paper, just something that comes out of like a stack, die cuts with a view stack or a Michael stack, or just a regular thin scrapbook paper. I'm not using anything very thick. What I found is that it will punch the basic gray cardstock, but it's a little bit tougher to punch heavy cardstock like what you would get from Club Scrap or even some of the Basil papers. They're kind of hard to punch. So here we go again, and if you see it hasn't grabbed. Still hasn't grabbed. It's grabbed, it's in place. Fingers down, punch. And now we've got almost this whole thing done as a border. Isn't that gorgeous? All right, the next thing we're going to cut is a circle. Circle's a little bit more tricky, but again, it's got the guides right on it, and you just have to follow the guides. So we take off our top, and again, we're going to line up our paper with these little raised guides back here for the first cut, but only the first cut. So I'm going to hold the paper in place, and I'm going to let the magnets grab, and I'm going to do my first cut. This time, when I turn these, I'm not going to line it up with this pink border because I'm not doing a border. I'm going to line it up with the circles. And you have two choices. You have a 4-inch circle and you have a 6-inch circle. And I'm going to do the 4-inch circle. So I'm going to turn my paper towards the top of the punch, and I'm going to line up on the 4-inch circle mark, which is the yellow one. I'm going to line up what I've cut out. And again, I've got to line up, make sure all that the white is lined up correctly and the yellow matches. If you look, This is almost foolproof because if you try to line up the last one, the white doesn't line up. No matter what you do to it, the white doesn't line up. If you try to line up the first one, the white doesn't line up. See? So this is almost foolproof. Line up your yellow piece, line up your white on top of it. When you've got it perfect and straight, hold it with your right hand, hover your magnet. See, I don't even know where it is right now. I have no idea where it goes, but if I hover it, it's going to grab and go right in place. Ready to punch, hold it down on the left, punch, punch. All right, now we're going to turn it again towards the top of the punch or towards the right. I'm right-handed, so I've got it towards the top and towards the right. And I'm going to line up the white and the yellow. Hold it in place with my right hand. Grab the punch top. Let the magnets find themselves. Hold it in place. And punch. Spin it around. Line it up. Hold it in place. Let the magnets do their thing. And punch. Now, if I put it over here, it's not lined up. If I try to stick it over here or turn it this way, it's not going to line up. These magnets are so strong that they will just grab each other and line up for you, and you know it's in the right place. And then my last punch, I have a beautiful circle.